All right, so let's start it here at the top with Rasputin, Rasputin. So again, he's got 11k attack here. This is not the greatest. It's actually fairly low for a 5-star. I'm not too worried about it. Just in the grand scheme of things, he's definitely someone that, to me, you know, again, he's alter ego. You already kind of understand what you're getting with that. He's a unit that's rarely going to be actually effective and just going to be like semi-effective a lot. So because of that, you just kind of know what you're dealing with and you don't expect too much in the damage department. He's actually pretty thick in terms of the health, and I do like that. He's only got a 0.42 NP gain rate, and a lot of people are saying that this makes him bad. But kind of like I just showed you guys there, you're only a plug suit or like a fragment of 2004 away from being able to solve that. I'll say this, he definitely appears to me to require double Castoria if you want to start from 0. That is going to be one of his bigger issues. And like I said, I think if you have the append unlocked and maxed out on him, probably going to make it a little bit easier. Do to note that he is lawful evil alignment. That will come into play later. He is dragon traded hominide humanoid moon pseudo servant and weak to intimate Elish. I'm not sure I want to click on that one because that appears to be new and I don't want spoilers, so we're just going to hold off on that one for right now. Again, you guys can see his hit counts are all actually above average, or no, actually, yeah, only the extra attack is average. Everything else is above. I'd say the deck here is a little bit weird for an art servant. He's 2A, 2Q. I maybe would have expected triple A, or again, maybe even double B, double A. So I'm surprised that we're getting double quick here, which seems a little odd. But still, the card performance on the quick card is actually really good too. So we get to his first skill here. It recovers one ally's HP, removes their debuffs, and increases their own attack for 3 turns. It's actually quite nice. I've talked about this before, that like having Castoria have debuff cleanse on her NP is good at all, but there's times where you don't want to have to use Castoria's NP to cleanse something. So having a like actual on cooldown cleanse is really good. Now here's the deal with it. It's targetable and it's on a 4-turn cooldown. This is really short. Even the heal, it's only 2k, but it's 2k on 4 turns, which is still pretty decent. And then on top of it, it's regardless of who he targets, chat, he increases his own attack 30%. So he doesn't increase the target, just himself. It's actually ideal as a skill as far as I'm concerned, because this could have been way worse where it only increased the target's attack, but that might have made him a support. But still, it's like, hey, they just made it so that this part defaults to him and the rest is targetable. So I think it's pretty cool. His second skill here, again, is going to give him a 50% gauge, basically, because he gets 30% natively. He deals a demerit that deals 2,000 damage to himself, which, again, you don't care about if you pop it before the first skill. He's going to charge the MP gauge of allies with evil alignment. Guess what, chat? Remember what I said he was? He's lawful evil. So he charged himself 50%. He's also going to increase the arts performance of allies with evil alignment for 3 turns by 20%. Guess what he is? He's evil. So again, all of these things apply to not only him, but then the latter 2 can apply basically to other units in the party. You can do some interesting stuff with this where you can combine other units that are like him and basically allow them to charge up to full. This isn't the first time we've seen this. In fact, this is one of several in a row now that we've kind of seen of like big name units that, hey, we have this like party charge gimmick going on with us. Arcuede's another one if you guys are curious. So I thought it was pretty cool in that regard. Most of the things probably come from stuff stuffed inside of them. That's true, but I don't really want to think about that for spoiler reasons. Mr. Streamer, I have a joke for you. The joke is for you in chat to caption. Check Discord DM. No. I appreciate it, chat, but I need to get through this. Okay. So, again, I think that's really cool. Obviously, chat, he's basically Disney's Baloo, and that's all you need to know. His third skill here is the interesting one and the one that I've seen talked about the most. So basically, chat, how this works, at least as far as I've understood it, at least as far as I've seen it work, is again that this is a guts of 1 time 3 turns. Okay, 1 time 3 turns, revive with 1 HP, but it's stackable with other guts. All right, that's really cool. I like that. On top of that, he grants himself a gut status, which activates a chance to guts when defeated for 3 turns. So this means that for the 3 turns that this is in duration, chat, whenever his guts pops, it activates guts. Did you follow? It's like, hey, we heard you like guts, so we put guts in your guts and gave you guts. I need you to listen to my mixtape before you finish. No. Again though, right? So it's a 3 turn duration. So whenever guts is activated as well, you also get NP damage 20% for 5 turns. I'm gonna be honest, the fact that it's 5 turns is just crazy here. I'm surprised it's not just 3 turns, but it is what it is. And then he also gets a taunt that draws attention to himself for 3 turns. So chat, when you lure this skill, it is an 80% chance to proc. Skill's on a 7 turn cooldown, so you're not getting it back fast. But for those 3 turns, you can basically make it so that, yeah, you just keep popping guts. It's necromancy, the craft essence as a skill. Even when the guts pops, you get NP damage up. The problem is it's only 80%. So what if you fail? Well, you might just be willing to take that risk. Alternatively, you can do things to make it actually happen because it's a chance skill, chat. So you can definitely take stuff like buff success chance, and then boom, there you go. He's gonna do it. 7 turns is pretty fast for gut skill. 7 turns is pretty much average. Anything faster than 7 is fast. His Bond C works with his 3rd skill too? Yeah. But so, like I said, this is a really nutty skill. Basically, he could just sit there and keep soaking. Now, you might be sitting here thinking, okay, well, that's fine, but what if the units don't hit him? Well, they can't not unless the like enemies do something or you basically pull a dumb yourself. He is just gonna sit here for those 3 turns and soak that damage. And you might be thinking, well, shit, that's true, but unless he's in a solo, he's just gonna get hit again then, right? No, the taunt glitch comes into play with this. So fun fact, if you have taunt on yourself and you get killed to the point that you guts, when you pop up, enemy's turn ends. And the reason for this is because the sequential order of events is that the enemy must attack something, but you are rendered not dead but unable to be attacked for the duration of that turn. And that's why the enemy's turn just ends. It's hilarious. It's funny because we've always called it the taunt glitch for years, but I actually don't think it's a glitch at this point. This is the devs are just straight up leaning into it. I think the reality here is it's not truly the taunt glitch. The actual taunt glitch is apparently if I remember correctly, if a unit gets, regardless of the party status, if a unit dies while they're taunting to 1 hit of the enemy's attack, the enemy's turn ends regardless, that is a glitch as far as I understand. But still, this is definitely, the devs are leaning into the strategy, and I find it hilarious that basically they're like, yes, we recognize how strong this is, so here, have it in unit form. So it's really cool in that regard. You don't need a taunt C to work with him, and there's definitely some funny stuff you can do. He gets Territory Creation B. He gets Executor B for additional crit damage and Star Gem. He gets a unique Baptism Sacrament here that is mental debuff resistance by a whopping 30%, which is nothing to sneeze at. And then he himself is immune to poison, which is another really, really nice one. In fact, I think that's one of the few that we didn't really have much of. There's a couple of units out there that are like immune to like skill seal and stuff like that, but I don't recall, and I'm probably just not remembering some, but I don't recall anyone else that's immune to poison. I know there's several that are immune to burn too. Like AoE normal attack? No, that'll never happen. His third append is actually useful. Again, it's anti-caster for an alter ego who's already somewhat effective. So this means that, you know, and it's not this easy, but chat, if you're 1.5 times effective against a caster as an alter ego and you stack on 30%, it's, and like I said, it's not this easy, but it's almost like saying, hey, you're 1.8 times effective. So you're reasonably close to being fully effective. So I like this. This is actually a pretty nice append for him. And especially against the class that you might want to have already take him even harder. Did you have pizzas today? I did not. I do have pizza in my fridge though. His NP is AoE 4 hit. This is to me a little bit where he suffers, especially with that NP gain rate here, but still I think he's largely okay. Again, he's got the territory creation, he's got arts up further in his kit, so I think he's fine there. Deals damage to all enemies. He is super effective against enemies with evil alignment. He then inflicts burn for 3 turns to them and has spread fire, which doubles the effect of burn. He inflicts curse with 1000 damage and then doubles it for the next 3 turns. And then he has straight up, after all the damage goes out, a 60% chance to just instant kill enemies with good alignment. So he's super effective against evil and has a chance to kill enemies with good. That's not bad. So it's a really interesting sort of gimmick here. I think the biggest thing that I like is that this happens after damage, so this means it doesn't impact his refund. And then he also gets 20% arts up when activating first for 1 turn. So like I said, I think he has a lot there to help him. I do definitely wish he had a little bit more NP gain. I think that's his biggest knock against him, but he's still a very capable unit. Honestly, I liken him a lot to like Ruler Moriarty or trying to think, there was another one that was somewhat in a similar boat. Very Kirei like, screw everyone basically, yeah. But again, it's one of those deals where it's like, I wish he had a little bit more, but I think he's fine, right? I think he's still someone that's going to be capable. You guys saw I was looping against Berserkers. Berserkers are hard to loop against due to their naturally low NP gain rate. People have told me, and I haven't tried it yet, that he has a little bit trouble against assassins. Understandable, right? Like I could see that being a little bit of an issue. So again, maybe against those units, give him a little bit of starting charge or work that 3rd support in, and he should be good. Outside of those though, against like Rider and Caster, he should be fine. You should be able to start him from 0 and he should be easily capable. So I'm just going to say again, if people are knocking him, most of the time this is the whole argument against Plug Suit rearing its ugly head again. There's people out there that just refuse to use Plug Suit. They treat it like it's trash. They don't understand how good it is, or at least they themselves think that it's much better not to use it. The reality is most of these same people are basically using a mystic code that's the same number of button presses. They're basically taking as long as they would, trying to avoid it. Or again, it just may be a case that they're well within their rights not to use it because it's already maxed. They need to be leveling something else and they just don't care, right? For someone like me, I'm someone that's been playing the game long enough that I have every mystic code maxed, so using plug isn't a bad thing to me. I just use it and I'm fine. But for other people, I understand that's not necessarily a consideration. Just keep in mind that someone knocking a unit because they have to use plug suit is not a valid argument as far as I'm concerned. That's a very, like, I just say trash argument towards anything in general, because it has nothing to do with the unit themselves. There's plenty of units that, depending on the scenario, require plug suit as well, including some of the favorite units that people love to rave about. So I think it's not a big issue if you ever see that happening. Mapu tofu or pizzas? I'm not a huge fan of tofu. You just wanted to write a big ass on the screen? I did. The only issue is that he's an alter ego and class is pretty stacked and well fleshed out. You're right. But chat, I'm gonna say this right now. To me, this is nutty. This skill is gonna have some really interesting applications, because it's, again, to explain this to you guys, as long as you get the procs, this is 3 turns that the boss just does nothing. It just hits Kirei and resets itself and ends its turn. That's it. That's fucking hilarious. I actually love that. So I think that's a really, really cool gimmick, and I think that's going to be something that's going to be really broken in certain scenarios, and that's one of the reasons why I basically rolled him. Obviously, Kirei is a very intriguing and engaging character regardless. He's definitely a villain that you kind of love to hate, right? But I'd say even in spite of that, the gameplay is ultimately what made me go after him a little bit there, because yeah, everyone's going to look at his farming capability, and it's there, it's possible. Alter egos, though, to me have always been in that sort of weird sort of limbo, pun intended, I guess, for farming. And as a result of that, like, I just understand what I'm getting with that, and I don't, you know, let it influence me too much. I still want good alter egos regardless. And for someone like me on JP, I didn't have Kiara, I didn't have Doman on JP, so like having Rasputin, perfectly fine. So again, if you like him, go for him. If you don't feel bad that you're not rolling him either. You think Kirei would be better if he's a single target alter ego? I think it's a leading question. I think that's implying that Kirei is somehow bad, and I don't think he is. Come at me, bro. Yeah. Unless you're Kiara with 4,000 buffs, right? I mean, again, though, chat. So this was another one where a lot of people were, you know, talking kind of about him and being like, well, I already have Kiara. You might, right? Like, that's a thing. But just to show you, and this is both an argument for and against Kirei here. Okay? You look at him, and Kirei's all the way down here. Well, chat, just again, to kind of emphasize this, right? The top three are Kirei's numbers. The bottom is our welfare Tai Sui. Tai Sui is at 27k, which is going to beat Kirei's numbers at NP1. Okay? That's a welfare. You're guaranteed NP5 it, so he's going to win outright. Tai Sui also has man attribute and thus can really pop off at basically 45k there. So basically, you're looking at then Rasputin sitting here even below Passion Lip. So Rasputin is the lowest alter ego for damage. And I've seen a lot of people be like, oh my god, well, that's bad. He's not that good. Chat. The lowest alter ego for damage can activate his guts for a proc, or could just be going up against evil. But let's just go with that. The one that we can quote unquote guarantee depending on the scenario, right? Well, if he activates the evil here, if he's up against something that's actually evil, oh my god, he trounces everybody and is now the most damaging alter ego. This is the way game balance is supposed to work. You have units that, if they're in their niche, can outperform the best unit. I like to see that. That's great. So I have no issue with Kirei's performance. Yeah, he might be a little low at MP1, but chat, again, if this is a unit that can start from 0%, how much do I care? I can fix that. I can basically make him loop with a really good craft essence and let him just pop off for damage. So I'm not that concerned, right? I can fix him. No, it's not even an I can fix him. It's just a case of like, people, I'm gonna say, harp too much on NP damage. So chat, how many of you have the opinion that Ashia Doman has bad damage? Because what's the difference right there? Not much. See my point? So, how do you access the spreadsheets? Type in !NPDMG command on the channel. But yeah, so I'm not terribly concerned about this. We're in an era where, chat, the NP level doesn't matter unless we're talking like plus content most of the time. Like, the plus content is concerning, but for all other content, I don't care. I can make a unit do insane amounts of damage even at NP1. That's basically the epitome of my JP account, right?